Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. Well, the weekend has officially begun, and we welcome you to this 2K Sports presentation of NBA basketball. Along with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. Now a chance to check items. And as we take a look here at Kevin Garnett, guys, what's your take?
Well, the biggest thing with Kevin Garnett is the impact he has on the game at the defensive end of the floor. He covers so much space. He's got those long arms. He's a wonderful communicator, kind of the quarterback of that defense. And he will shut down the player he's guarding on a nightly basis.
You know, it isn't just on defense that KG is a quiet influence. When he's on O, even if he's not scoring, he's drawing attention, creating space for his teammates, and then finding them for easy baskets. You just don't find post players like him very often. He's a once-in-a-generation kind of player.
This Boston crowd ready to roar in this Eastern Conference matchup for the Celtics. They're getting their first look of the season at the Bucks in this one. They were able to sweep the season series last year, completely controlling the play in each game.
Well, they were unbeaten against this opponent last season. Not surprising considering where they both finished in the standings.
So it's the Celtics now. Outside Rondo, 6 on the shot clock, passes it to Bradley. Rondo, 13 feet away. It's hauled in by Ilyasova. Quickly going back to what Steve just said, they brushed this team aside easily last year, and maybe, Clark, their favorite opponent to face.
Well, I think that probably was the case. I mean, they made the most of their opportunities against a team that really struggled. They had the upper hand clearly.
Still looking for that first bucket here to start the game.
On defense, Boston. They come in fresh off a win against the Heat.
And, Kevin, they overcame a very poor shooting night to win that game. You know, you're not going to be able to win very often with a percentage as low as theirs.
Yeah, no beauty or style points in that game, but they did hit the big shots when they needed to.
Monte Ellis is a guy who's a little undersized as a scoring guard, but there's no question about his explosiveness. His first step is so quick. Loves to go right, can get to the rim, but if you back off him, he can pull up and make that jump shot.
Now here's Ilyasova. From the arc. No luck. The Celtics have gone 0 of 3 from the field to start the game. Now it's sent it down to Doris Burke, who is able to catch up with Coach Doc Rivers.
A key concern for his side is how to keep Monte Ellis from running amok on their defense. He said there are very few players in the league who can take a sliver or a seam in a defense and turn it into 2 points as efficiently as Monte Ellis does. He said one step and he's at the rim. We have to move our feet as a unit or he'll get to the rim all game long. Guys?
All right, Doris. Here's Pierce after the made shot from Monte Ellis. Garnett kicks to Pierce. And it's blocked.
Still looking for their first basket. 5 misses to start the game.
Bucks leading by 6. And so for Monte Ellis, he's so tough to defend, attacking the rim. He can get that mid-range jumper going, Clark, most any time he wants to.
He's got great elevation on that jump shot too, Kevin. When his jump shot is falling, it's a hard matchup for anybody trying to guard him because he's so quick at getting to the rim, and he can make tough finishes in the paint area.
Bass passes to Pierce. That's tipped. And up the court come the Bucks on the break. Second chance shot, and the running layup is good. Dallenberg's got his first bucket in this one.
Right now, it's all working for him here in the first. The shots have been falling.
Yeah, their offense has been very impressive. If they keep this up, Clark, they're going to be tough to beat. And the big story with Milwaukee last season, guys, was their divorce with Andrew Bogut, first overall pick in the 2005 draft. He was really looked upon as the foundation, the cornerstone for that club. But injuries kind of derailed what he had accomplished the last few years. And finally, Milwaukee decided to part ways, sending him to Golden State for Monte Ellis.
Just under 3.5 minutes gone here in the first quarter. Jennings kicks to Dallenberg. It's back to Jennings. In low to Dallenberg. Kicks it out to Ellis. Just 4 to shoot. They double-team Ellis. The Bucks need to get a shot off here. And they turn over the 24-second buzzer, signaling the shot clock violation. Here is the 2K leaderboard with last season's top passing teams. The Celtics second. In the third spot, the Bucks.
You know, a pair of teams, Kevin, that understood the importance of assists. They understood the value of making not only the extra pass, but making a good pass on time and on target.
Now here's Rondo. 11 points for him in that last game against the Heat in Miami. That's good. Overall, that trade a bit of a defense for offensive type of trade. The Bucks figured they'd be better off Clark bringing in a proven scorer like Monte Ellis. Put him in that backcourt with Jennings. It was rocket speed up and down and a lot of offense.
Yeah, potential fireworks there because Monte certainly can light it up. What's funny about that trade is that Bogut was the number one overall pick in that draft, and Monte was a second-round selection years later, though they get traded for each other.
He's laboring out there right now, guys. The shot has not been falling for him this quarter.
And that one's good, Ellis.
Well, I'll tell you what, they are dialed in offensively, guys. I think they look really well prepared for this game.
And they've rode that early hot streak to a big lead here in the first.
Jeff Green is checked in for the Celtics. That free throw good from Ellis.
And Boston has really kind of set the bar in the Eastern Conference over the last 5 or 6 years. Not quite as effective last year, but they did fare pretty well against their Eastern Conference opponents.
So the Celtics called timeout, their first. And Boston against the East, it was a big part of why they were able to stay in the hunt. 32-16 on the season interconference.
Like every other playoff team in the East, they were able to have a winning record against every Eastern division, but they really took it to the Southeast, which is surprising as that was the toughest division.
Now here's Bradley. He's coming off a 10-point game against Miami.
And he played great at the defensive end of the floor, too, Kevin. Had a couple of important block shots in that game, so good all-around effort.
It's stolen by Green. And here's Rondo. Back to Green. Feeds it to Bass. Knocked loose. And so it looks like the Celtics will retain possession here.
Oh, where did Brandon Jennings stack up last year statistically? Let's take a look. 12th in steals, 16th in scoring, and he also finished in the top 20 in assists. So this is a guy who really did a nice job of sharing the ball with his teammates.
And, you know, on his way to that top 15 ranking on the steals list, he really established himself as one of the toughest defensive matchups in the league.
Well, when you watch Doc Rivers communicate with his team, you can see how much respect his players have for him. He's funny, he's smart, he's witty, and he's not afraid to get on his guys either, which I think is important. And they respond to him, no question.
Nice shot by Dallenberg.
They've built a big lead here early.
Both defensively and offensively. They've been terrific right from the tip.
Bradley kicks to Garnett. Pass to Rondo. Back to Garnett. Rebound by Ilyasova. And for Coach Doc Rivers of the Boston Celtics, great charisma. Truly, Steve, a player's coach. He's very intuitive, I think, the way he maneuvers around the profession and deals with his players.
And it shows, Kevin, when we have those in-game clips, you know, when the coaches are mic'd up, and sometimes we'll hear comments that Doc is making to his team. It's so great to listen to. He might be my favorite coach to listen to on the sidelines in those circumstances because he communicates so well. He's funny, but he gets his point across. He's tough. Just an amazing coach.
And it's slammed in by Garnett.
Pretty significant laps there on the defensive end, guys.
Yeah, those are the ones, you just can't allow that.
No, if you're giving up dunks and layups defensively, you're in huge trouble.
And Milwaukee has possession after the basket by Boston. Ellis can't get it to go.
They're in attack mode early, guys, really cleaning up the glass.
Well, it's +5 in rebounding here in the first quarter. I mean, in a 4-quarter game, if that margin continues, that's +20 rebounds. That would be almost assuring a win.
Bass's shot. Jennings against Rondo. D'Alembert dishes to Ilyasova. He kicks to Nba2K13. No up. Now the Celtics take it the other way. Rondo with it. Great defense that time from Ellis.
You know, it was interesting listening to Brandon Jennings last year in Milwaukee. He talked about watching Dwight Howard and Chris Paul trying to go to bigger markets, and that he was thinking about his own options, really implying that, you know, maybe going to one of the bigger cities would be a preferred option for him.
Garnett, he's guarded by Jennings. Bass passes to Green. Kicks it to Rondo. The dish to Bradley. High arcing shot, and a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
Yeah, the referee's all over that one.
No doubt about it. Clearly a foul. Nothing to argue about there.
The first one falls. And for the Bucks, trading away Andrew Bogut last season, retooling around Jennings, they certainly hope to keep him around.
And it can be tough for the small market teams, Kevin. The draw of the big markets is real for a lot of players. Sometimes they think being in a bigger city is better. Jennings is an L.A. native, so that's certainly his background, the big city, the bright lights. We'll see if he can find contentment in the Badger State.
You know, something that's special about him is his defensive intelligence. He knows what each opponent's bread and butter is and does whatever's necessary to take it away from him.
Yeah, nicely put, Steve. He forces guys out of their game. I mean, gets them out of their comfort zone, makes them uncomfortable. He's an absolute terror to have to deal with when he's guarding you.
Celtics trail by 6. Now Terry. He picked up 12 points in their last win against Miami. He dishes it to Wilcox. Shot clock at 6. Over Udo. Milwaukee with the rebound. Here's Udrich. With the lead pass. Melo with the steal. Now here's Bradley. He's guarded by Udrich. Bradley can't get it to go. Bucks leading by 6. Here's Clark. Dishes it to Gooden. Backing in. Fade away. Udo. And Gooden kicks to Udo. And they had their chances. 2 offensive rebounds, but they still come up empty. Now here's Bradley. And there's Terry. Outside Pierce. Good. Well, the Bucks shooting 47% here so far. Udrich dishes to Udo. He feeds it to Clark. And that one's good. Clark gets the bucket. In a moment to celebrate here. Those are his first official points as an NBA player.
Well, the thing you always hear about him is just how hard he works. And, you know, he's going to have to go above and beyond to improve his game, but you know he's willing to put in the time.
And, you know, let's be honest here. When you don't have the natural talent or ability of a lot of players in this league, you've got to make up for it in other areas through hard work, attitude, effort. And he understands that.
And here is Harris, following the three-pointer by Paul Pierce.
And I really like the set they ran there.
Celtics trail by 5. Now a timeout called by Boston.
You know, throughout the history of the NBA, the Celtics have been such a constant presence in the postseason that it's hard to imagine the playoffs without seeing the green. Every year the players change, but the Celtics mystique is always in it, and that team is always hanging around.
Here's what Boston's going with right now. Brandon Bass is checked in for Melo. Sullinger comes in for Chris Wilcox. Courtney Lee, he's checked in for Avery Bradley. And it's Dooling in for Jason Terry. Dunleavy, the pass to Jennings. Takes it up. Cannot hit. Now Boston takes it the other way. It's really the mark of a great franchise. Boston expects great things from the Celtics each year, and more often than not, Steve, they deliver.
Yeah, you don't get all those banners that they have in that building without executing in the postseason. That's what this Celtics team has done the last few years. They play together, they've played hard, they defend, and they're at their best when their best is needed.
Here is Jennings after the basket by Boston. The feed to Henson. It's back to Jennings. Bucks passing it around. Down low. Blocked. And now here's Lee. The fast break opportunity. And finished off by Sullinger.
That was a hole punch jam there, Kevin.
A nice finish.
Yeah, you got to love the way he just capped off that strong move.
And Ilyasova kicks to Ellis. About 3 seconds between shot and game clock. Now here's Jennings. He's guarded closely. And yes, sir, that one drops. And it's 13 points for Ellis.
Well, no defense. He didn't really need to do the double pump.
Dueling with it. Shoots over Jennings. And that's not going to go. So at the end of 1 quarter of play, still a close game. The Bucks on top, leading by 3. And we've got more NBA action on 2K Sports coming your way after this break.
See the show and make yourself heard. Come out and support your hometown Bucks. Multiple game packages still available to see Cool Hands, one of the best in the league. So come out and welcome our sensational new rookie.
And we got a close game here as we get back to the second quarter. And let's quickly break down the game we've seen from the Bucks, guys.
And they set the tone there defensively with their shot blocking. They've been really intimidating down in the paint area.
You know, in the rest of the game, Steve, shooters will be looking around for the shot blockers because of what's happened in this quarter.
Rondo and the Jet, Jason Terry in the back. Jared Sullinger is out there with Green, and it's Pierce in at the 3 spot. That's the Boston 5. And that one's good by Gooden.
Well, that makes 5 of their last 6 makes coming from inside.
Yeah, really focused on getting the ball into the paint because they're taking advantage of very porous defense down there. You have to get a hand into his face because that's his range right there.
And Doris Burke has something for us. Hey, Doris.
Guys, the Celtics have been one of the top teams in the East, but there is a line of thinking saying they're too old to still contend for a title. Be careful writing them off, though. Last season, they became the first team in 28 years to make the conference finals after sitting with a record under 500 at the All-Star break. Kevin, this team knows how to bounce back.
Such a terrific turnaround. Thanks, Doris.
Well done, finishing that one off.
Jennings against Rondo. Jennings with the bucket. Jennings has got his second bucket of the night.
Yeah, saw just a little bit of daylight, went right to the rim.
Rondo dishes to Pierce. Sullinger with a screen for Pierce. Off the drop step. There's the block. And now approaching 2 minutes of action here in the second quarter. Jennings drives in. Jennings can't get that one to fall.
And you look at Scott Skiles, coach of the Bucks. I'll tell you, everybody knew he was going to coach someday when he was a player because nobody was more prepared and nobody spent more time watching film than Scott Skiles. He always knew he wanted to coach.
That'll be Boston as it goes out of bounds. Celtics retain possession. Let's pause to take a look at the teams that were tops in field goal percentage last season. 5th on the list, the Celtics.
Hard to shoot the ball any better than they did. I mean, they weren't the best in the league, but they were pretty close.
Second quarter of play with around 2 minutes gone so far. Going back to Scott Skiles and his use of film as a player, if you like watching film, the NBA entering a golden age in that regard.
I mean, organized, and these days you watch it on a laptop or a tablet. I mean, film study really is something coaches and players use on a daily basis now in the NBA.
And here's Jennings following the three-pointer by Paul Pierce. 6 to shoot. Here's Gooden. 3 to shoot. 6 to shoot. 3 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 to That's good. Gooden's got 4 points in the quarter.
3 straight buckets in the paint. They're making it look effortless.
Well, speaking of effortless, you like to see a little more out of the defense. So how about trying, guys?
Now, here's Green. He's coming off a 10-point game against Miami. Misses with the tough, leaning jump shot.
Solid advantage in the rebounding totals for them so far here.
You know, in every game, but particularly in a close game, every little advantage you can use helps, and they're certainly enjoying one on the glass here.
And that one's good by Gooden.
You just can't let him get that close to the hoop.
Rondo with it, and Jennings picks him up defensively. Green with a screen on Jennings. Rondo passes to Pierce. And there's the pass to Sullinger. Outside, Green. Nice ball movement by Boston. And Jared Sullinger, the bucket on the assist by Pierce.
What a luxury it is for Boston to have Paul Pierce on this roster, because when the play breaks down, he's probably as good as anybody in the league at just backing you down, using that strength, using his incredible footwork to get a shot off. Not just any shot, a high percentage one.
And a new group in for the Celtics. Kevin Garnett, he's checked in for Sullinger. Wilcox comes in for Jeff Green. Avery Bradley, he's checked in for Jason Terry. And it's Dooling in for Rajon Rondo. Big group substitution here for Milwaukee. Samuel Dallenberg, who's checked in for Gooden. Udo comes in for Ilyasova. And Bahamute's checked in for Tobias Harris. And Cool Hand subbed in for Brandon Jennings.
And what I like watching, Kevin, with this guy is his ability to just chase down rebounds. I mean, he plays so hard, hustles from the opening tip till the final buzzer, and it really shows with his work on the offensive glass.
And his shot blocking can't be overlooked. I mean, he's known to send shots singing backwards. I mean, he brings that intimidation factor at the defensive end for sure.
Garnett, he's guarded by Ellis. Bradley can't get it to go. And Paul Pierce, one of the most versatile scorers, Clark, in the NBA.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, he can back you down. He can face you up. He works off screens. He can make plays off the dribble for himself or his teammates. He's a multi-pronged problem for the opponents.
They are in attack mode right now. That's 10 straight points, guys, all coming inside the paint.
And, Steve, if I'm them, I'd keep going right to the heart of that defense like they have been until they do something about it. If they don't offer resistance, take everything you can get in there.
Now, here's Bradley. Pass to Garnett. Gallenberg's there. Feeds to Wilcox. The Celtics need to get a shot off. The three. And out of bounds as the Bucks gain possession.
Let's take a look at the numbers for Monte Ellis last year. 11th in scoring, 14th in assists. And, of course, he ended up in the top 15 in steals, a result of some of the quickest hands in the league.
And what a nice weapon he was for them offensively. I mean, he was an excellent option every time down the court. I mean, his top 15 points per game ranking, that says it all.
Clark kicks to Mbamute. Gives him the lead pass. And that one's good by Clark.
And all 10 of their last points have come inside the paint, so defensively you've got to make an adjustment.
Yeah, and you got to do a little more to stop it, too. I mean, it's coming way too easy for him. At some points, you just got to buck up and say it's not going to happen.
Pass to Ellis. Shoots over Bradley. And it's another Milwaukee shot right there going in.
You know, when you've got the kind of speed the Bucks have in their backcourt, you really want to try to push the tempo a bit, and they did just that with Monte Ellis and Brandon Jennings. They were second in the league in field goal attempts.
Here's what Boston's going with right now. Melo's checked in for Garnett. Bass comes in for Chris Wilcox. And it's Lee in for Paul Pierce. Here's Dooling. Lee outside. He passes it to Bradley. Over Ellis. They get it again. And finished off by Bass.
Boy, that kind of hustle you just love to see.
And it gets his teammates fired up.
Yeah, especially with the powerful slam to finish things off.
He kicks to Ilyasova. The dish now to Henson. Gets it to go. And the Bucks lead by 14. Well, for the Bucks, the problem had always been finding points. Now playing a little quicker with those two speed merchants in the backcourt, attacking more, and they seem to have found, I think, Steve, a little bit of balance.
Well, they've always been a defensive-minded team under Scott Skiles, Kevin, so I think they're looking for that balance. They're looking for that offensive firepower. They've got that quick backcourt you mentioned with Brandon Jennings and Monte Ellis. But can they combine the offense and the defense and make this into a playoff caliber team?
Paul Pierce has checked in for Avery Bradley. Leno Udrich, he's checked in for Milwaukee. Dunleavy kicks to Jennings. For the three. Rebound Boston. Pierce has got 3 rebounds now in this one.
Still trying to get into the swing of things here offensively. It just has not happened for him here.
Count the bucket. Pierce has got 12.
Just too easy. They're getting whatever they want down there.
You said it, Steve. 5 straight field goals inside for him. The defense has to clamp down here. I like that one-handed spike right there.
Yeah, that's how it's done.
Yes, sirree.
Yeah, he's not going to miss many of those.
Kicks it to Lee. There's the triple. Snatched up. He dishes it to Dooley. Melo. That's in there. Dooley with the assist.
That's 5 straight hoops in the paint. What a fantastic job of attacking the rim.
Well, Steve, they're getting the looks that they want down there, so might as well keep going right at the rim. If there's no resistance, then make them pay.
Dishes to Bass. That one falls coming off Dooley's feet. Bass has got 10 points in the game.
No question about it, guys. He's been one of their best performers today.
Up top, Jennings, covered by Lee. He feeds it to Henson. It's back to Jennings. Over Lee. Jennings can't get it to go.
Man, I'll tell you what, this has been one ugly quarter for him.
And it keeps getting uglier. I mean, his touch has basically gone AWOL.
Here's Udrich, covered by Lee. Udrich dishes to Henson. Now the feed to Udrich. Nails the 16-footer. Udrich has got his first points in this one. Lee outside. Fires from deep. Udrich grabs the board. Bucks leading by 12. The pass to Ilyasova. Over Bass. That's good from Ilyasova on the assist by Udrich. Ilyasova's got 4 points this quarter. Now Dooley. Lee passes to Bass. And there's the rejection. And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to Doris Burke for an update. Hi, Doris.
Kevin, last season was the best of Brandon Jennings' career, and coaches around the league are taking notice. Pistons coach Lawrence Frank said, "You can see how passionate he is about the game. He plays with a zest, a zeal. He's all over the court, both on and off the ball." Dallas coach Rick Carlisle said he's got that great speed, but he's really learning how to change speeds to give himself an even greater advantage. He's an all-star caliber talent. It may be some time before he gets that kind of recognition, but he's a really, really good player with a bright future, Kevin.
He certainly is. Thanks, Doris.
Well, we know how talented he is. It's just a question of how good can he become if he continues to put the work in.
Bucks leading by 11.
You look at Jared Sullinger, 6'9", 280, probably a power forward at the NBA level. But what you like about him is the feel for the game, the rebounding ability, and the fact that he can play some 5 as well. If you hear this game, really playing well offensively.
Outside Rondo. Goes up. And so he earns a trip to the line. Official saw the contact and he'll shoot 2. And Sullinger, skilled in the low post, can even step outside. A lot to like about his game.
Yeah, I love his IQ as well, Kevin. This is a kid who understands the game and has for a long time, and he's going to play with a chip on his shoulder and continue to get better. And I think he's going to prove people wrong that doubted his ability to be an impact NBA player.
The Celtics making a switch here. Garnett's checked in, and Mbah-a-Moute's checked in for Milwaukee. Cool Hands comes in for Henson. So we can't get either to fall.
Well, I was impressed with the Bucks a year ago, guys. The bounce back from a tough 2010-2011 season. Milwaukee fought hard all the way through the end of the regular season and stayed right on that playoff cusp throughout. He has taken over this game, guys. I don't know what else you can say about it.
Here's Rondo. Here's Terry. Boston, no good that time either. Well, even though they didn't get back in the playoffs and Milwaukee again missed, I think the Bucks showed everybody that they mean business by going for it and playing Clark to the bitter end.
Yeah, I agree with that, Kevin. You want to finish strong as best you can, so going for it like they did in the season where there wasn't a lot of hope can inspire a team, and we'll see if that's the case this year.
Boston with the ball, following the bucket by the Bucks. Passes to Green. Puts up the baby hook, and that is good.
Again, they attack the hoop from the lane, and it's been really good to them.
Yeah, they're getting whatever they want down there. That's 4 of their last 5 buckets coming in the paint area.
Ellis. Garnett with the block. And here we go. And finished off by Sullinger.
You know what? There he goes again. I mean, it's not a stretch at all to call him one of the NBA's elite premier dunkers. He's actually platinum.
You're right. You know, Steve, when he gets in his mind to attack the rim, it's always something to see.
Yeah, it's exactly what we've come to expect from him because he does it continually on a night-in, night-out basis.
Special thanks to Sprite for that sweet replay. Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. Feeds to Clark. Shot clock at 3. An easy 2 points on the layup. Clark's got 8 points in the quarter. Here's Terry. The shot no good. And so we wrap up the first half. Bucks lead by 15. And join us right back here after the break for the start of the second half.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
Thanks for joining us on 2K Sports as the NBA season revs up. Let's get into the halftime report. The Milwaukee Bucks have the lead against the Celtics in Boston. A win here would propel them above 500 as teams jostle for early position. Some terrific basketball from Samuel Delembert. He's got 7 points, and in addition to that, he's been a factor on the glass as well. Couple of helpers, too. On the other side, the Celtics have not gotten off to a good start. Defensive rebounding, a big problem right now. They just can't control their own backboard. A tough start for Jason Terry. The flavor for that first half, brickalicious. He'll have to improve. And now we'll send you back to Boston for the start of the second half.
Welcome back, everybody. Third quarter just about to get going here in what has been so far a runaway game. You have to like what we're seeing from Monte Ellis.
Well, we know he can score, so it's not really a huge shock to see him put up these kind of big numbers.
And I would think that he most likely will continue to carry on this kind of play into the fourth.
On the court for the Bucks, Ilyasova and Delembert are down low. Brandon Jennings and Monte Ellis comprise the backcourt. And it's Mbah-a-Moute in at the small forward. Here's Rondo, following the basket by Brandon Jennings. Rondo kicks to Pierce. Puts it up from 12, and he hits the jump shot. Pierce has got 14. Bucks leading by 15. Ellis outside. And the shot is good. He's got 17.
A great move to the hoop, capped off with the finger roll. He's an outstanding finisher in close.
Garnett dishes to Pierce. Again, Pierce missing.
Big lead on the boards usually equals a big lead in the game. This team is on cruise control.
Well, the rebounding differential is double digits already, so this is a team that just looks bigger and tougher than the opponent.
Celtics shooting from the field, 44%, not bad. Rondo drives in. Shot, no good. Great defense that time from Ellis. The Bucks have gone 2 of 3 from the field to start the second half. Here's Ilyasova.
I'll tell you what, Kevin, Ilyasova is one of the unknown stars in this league. He's an amazing player, a rebounder, a runner. He's very skilled as a shooter. He's a guy, I think, with more exposure, I think people will really understand how good he is.
Yeah, you know what? Amazing skills as a result of his long arms and his knack for slipping between opponents. Ilyasova, very underrated for his putback ability.
Well, they ran a nice play there, Kevin, to set up the easy dunk.
Yeah, he got help from his teammate and ran his man right straight into the pick.
Yep, and that's the offensive player's job. Run him into the screen.
And it was a great pick, too, Clark. I mean, he may have lowered his shoulder a little bit, but he got him pretty clean.
Now, here's Nba2K13. Rajon Rondo missing his last shot.
He's far too tentative in the paint, and even more so when the defender is up tight on him like that time.
That's good.
That's a nice job of getting the ball in the paint and burying the shot. That's exactly how it's done.
Bucks leading by 15. Jennings kicks to D'Alembert. Second shot opportunity, and he races to the bucket for 2. D'Alembert's got 9 points.
I can tell you for sure they didn't want this. I actually can guarantee it. They're getting pounded, brutalized inside.
Now, it wouldn't be so bad if they were getting the same looks on the other end, but that's just not the case.
Time called here. The Celtics decide to talk it over.
It was kind of a weird start to the playoff last year for Boston. Rondo gets suspended early, but the Celtics were able to get past the Hawks as they matched up as the 4 and 5 seeds, and the Celtics actually did not have home court advantage in that series.
True, right. Boston with the ball. 17-point game. And that one's good by Pierce. You know, Clark, you wonder how the Celtics would fare as an older team and shortened season, the compacted window of games, so many games crammed into 1 week. You just weren't sure how much gas they had in the tank come playoff time, Steve. But as it showed, they won a couple series and made their way through.
Yeah, I thought it was really impressive getting to the Eastern Conference Finals, taking Miami to 7 games. They had their chance, too. You know, up 3-2 in a home game, but LeBron and Miami were just too much.
Here's Jennings. He's got 6. Pass to Ellis. Over Rondo. And there's Ellis. That's good on the assist from Brandon Jennings. 19 points for Ellis.
You know, that part of the floor, guys, is more or less his real sweet spot, right in his wheelhouse.
He kicks it to Bass. Over D'Alembert. And it's sent back by D'Alembert. Inside. And it's Monte Ellis with the finish.
You know, when he plays well, generally the team does too, and it's exactly what we're seeing here today. Monte Ellis is a tremendously talented guard, but you know, only 1 playoff appearance in his 7 NBA seasons, and that's been frustrating for him. He's a guy who's put up some big numbers, but I'm sure he'd like to see more playoff success in his future.
Kevin Garnett grabs the miss. Garnett's got 4 rebounds now tonight. And it's Rondo penetrating. Here's the pass to Rondo. Tries again. And Garnett gets it to go on the assist by Rondo. Rondo's got 4 assists now tonight. Bucks leading by 17. And Steve, you mentioned Monte's frustration in the past, not being able to win a championship, a division title, or just, you know, be above 500. You know, on a consistent basis. But he's really worked on as much to stay positive, to be a good leader.
Yeah, to be a little more even-keeled, make sure the dedication to the team is uppermost in his mind, and being patient as well as striving for excellence. That's a delicate line to walk, but he's making progress in doing that.
Now here's Ilyasova. 19-point lead, which is the largest margin in the game. And out of bounds as the Celtics gain possession. And some changes here for the Celtics. Wilcox comes in for Kevin Garnett. And it's Green in for Paul Pierce. And Milwaukee also making a switch. Drew Gooden has checked in for Dallenberg. Here's Rondo. He's got 6. The dish to Bradley. He dishes it to Bass. Drops it in off the fadeaway. Bass has got 14. The Bucks have gone 7 of 13 in the third quarter so far, just above 50%. Hit his foot, and the ref saying he kicked it. Bradley against Ellis. He passes to Nba2K13. Just 5 to shoot. Jennings for 3. The rebound by the Celtics. Bass has got 4 rebounds now tonight. They've got the Wizards ahead of them for the next game. It's in Washington. That'll be just 1 game played away from home for them. Now here's Rondo. Kicks to Green. He's guarded by Nba2K13. Got a piece of it. Nba2K13 with the steal. Ellis against Rondo. Ellis kicks to Gooden. Over Green. And that one's good by Gooden. Gooden's got 16.
Well, we know he can run hot or cold, but I like the way he's playing today.
Rondo kicks to Bradley. Dishes to Bass. Working on Gooden. Fades. Bass can't get it to go.
Well, he had to fade away there. The defense was all over him, and he got it off, just couldn't get it to go.
Ellis kicks to Ilyasova. There's the pick. Gooden up top. Over Bass. Shot by Gooden is no good.
Well, you know what? You really expect him to knock that jumper down when he gets a good look like that.
The drive by Rondo. He feeds it to Bass. He's guarded by Nba2K13. Back to Rondo. To the middle. Here's Bradley. Basket is good. The assist from Rondo. Rondo's got 5 assists tonight.
You know, they're just getting hammered inside and really need to find a way to be tougher down there. They got to be physical. They got to man up in there.
I agree. I mean, you look at the points they're giving up, most of them seem to be coming inside the paint.
Boston making some changes. Kevin Garnett, he's checked in for Wilcox. Lee comes in for Brandon Bass. And it's Terry in for Rajon Rondo. The Bucks also changing it up. Udo's checked in for Gooden. Dunleavy comes in for Nba2K13. And Cool Hands subbed in for Brandon Jennings. Deflected. Stolen by Terry. Now here's Bradley, the fast break opportunity. A quick shot there, and it's off target.
I'm sure he'd like to have a do-over here. He just hasn't been able to make a significant contribution in this one.
Here's Clark. Terry covering. Here's Dunleavy. Gets it to go.
Yeah, no mistakes on the offensive execution there.
Celtics trailed by 19. They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've had a number of empty ones, a long time without a basket.
They got to find something, you're right. Now here's Terry. Lee outside. The rebound by the Bucks. Ilyasova's got rebound number 8 here tonight in the game. Here's Clark. It's rebounded by Kevin Garnett. Garnett's got his 5th rebound in this one. Terry kicks to Garnett. Knocked away. And up the court come the Bucks on the break. Udo dishes to Ellis. Takes it up for the stuff.
I like the awareness they had there. Guys were headed out on the break the instant the steal was made.
And they got the easy bucket because of it.
Terry kicks to Garnett. Udo's there. The fader. And it's Dunleavy with the rebound. Dunleavy's got his 3rd rebound on the night. Ellis outside. Can't get it to go. And the Celtics going the other way now.
Well, as usual, last year, the Bucks were an excellent defensive team. They always have been under Scott Skiles. The difficult thing was finding points consistently, and that's one of the reasons they made that trade for Monte Ellis.
Well, he's been scoring pretty well on just a few attempts. It might help them out if he was a bit more assertive.
Gets it to go. Ellis has got 10 points now just in this quarter.
I think it's as simple as this, guys. Get him the ball. That's all you need to do. Give it to him.
And while Monte Ellis will certainly help them on offense, you know, Clark, I think they're going to miss Bogut's defense this year.
Kevin, you could see it already last season when he was injured. I mean, Milwaukee crept back towards the middle of the pack in the defensive rankings, but Coach Scott Skiles will get them back into shape in that department. You can almost count on it.
Here's Clark, and that one's good. Clark's got 12. Guys, we have seen them with a lot of good ball movement.
Well, you like the smooth operating they're showing you here. I mean, things are clicking, and more importantly, it makes them tough to defend.
Yeah, there's no agenda. I mean, the ball's just moving to whoever is open, and as a result, they've kind of developed a clicking kind of pace to their game. It's been fun to watch.
Looking at who's out there now for the Celtics. Brandon Bass is checked in for Green. Pierce comes in for Courtney Lee. Keon Doolin, he's checked in for Avery Bradley. Rajon Rondo is subbed in for Jason Terry. Now here's Jennings, and that one's good. He's got 8. 1:44 left in the third quarter. They set the pick. Dooling the pass to Bass. And there's the feed to Dooling. The pass to Rondo. Clock at 6. Off his foot. And the ref's whistling a kick ball. Melo's checked in for Boston. Sullinger comes in for Brandon Bass. The Bucks also changing it up. Henson comes in for Tobias Harris. And it's Ellison for Udrich. Rondo against Jennings. Offensive rebound. Sullinger. A strong effort on the rebound. Nets the second chance points.
Textbook offensive rebounding right there. I love that. Those putbacks are buckets any team loves to get.
And he's got his first chance at the line here. Avery Bradley, he's checked in for the Celtics. And Milwaukee with a change here too. Ilyasova's checked in. That free throw good from Sullinger.
Boston is a team that fell from the elite of the East back to the middle of the pack last year. It wasn't because of their play at home, though, where they were still tough in front of the Celtics faithful.
Now here's Jennings. 8 points for him. And now the fast break. Rondo with the ball. And doing the bucket on the assist by Rondo. Rondo's got 6 assists here tonight. Bucks leading by 20. And the Celtics really do seem to feed off the energy here in this arena. You see all the banners hanging above us. And, you know, Steve, you can't help but be inspired if you come here as a fan or if you play for them as a member of the team.
Yeah, no question. Boston is one of the great venues in the league because of the history of the Celtics franchise. And obviously, you know, that matters to Boston. And 24-9 at home last year, they were able to take advantage of that home court. That's why they were able to hold on to that division title.
Nba2K13.
They're just getting better offensively as the game goes along, making good choices and getting high percentage shots.
And they're playing hard and playing smart too, Steve. They've just been very, very good.
It's 9 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. The drive by Rondo. Passes it to Pierce. Over Ilyasova. Again, Pierce missing. Now here's Jennings. Feeds it to Ellis. Over Bradley. And Boston with the rebound. Here's Dooling. Shot is no good. And as a one-sided affair.
The Bucks. Coming up this Saturday night, Al Jefferson and the Utah Jazz go up against Tim Duncan and the San Antonio Spurs.
And thanks again for joining us. Let's see what happens here in the fourth. And now our sideline reporter, Doris Burke, has a report on our Sprite uncontainable game. Hi, Doris.
Kevin, the uncontainable game has come from the Bucks bench. When you can rely on that second unit for a contribution, it's a huge asset, and they've shown the ability to contribute in bunches off the bench, guys.
Doris, appreciate the report. And, guys, that's pretty much been the key for them, especially in the second and third quarters.
Yeah, certainly one of the keys, Kevin. I mean, the timing was perfect. It looked like the starters were getting a little worn down out there, and the bench unit came into the game and brought a ton of energy.
Yeah, and it's such a comfortable feeling to know you've got that kind of firepower coming off your bench. I mean, it allows a coach to not hesitate about giving his starters any rest, and he knows his backups can handle themselves out there.
Brandon Bass and Kevin Garnett, the duo inside. Terry is the 2 with Paul Pierce at the 3. And it's Rondo in at the 1. That's who's in the game for the Celtics. The first free throw is good.
Guys, we've often discussed the way medicine is helping players do their jobs better. But one thing that I think is getting more and more attention is the danger of head trauma and concussions, and that's across all sports. The NBA introduced a new concussion policy to help ensure player safety, and I think it was really an essential and necessary improvement.
And he makes both free throws. And you mentioned, Clark, you know, the new concussion policy. In the past, it was at the team's discretion, and I'm looking over at you over this side and looking at Steve over here on my other side, and the players may have re-entered the action too soon. You guys may have even been involved in that yourselves.
I think I was, Kevin, a couple of times, which explains some of my comments, by the way, during the telecast. But, no, in all seriousness, it's a serious issue, and I think it's great that the NBA has taken precautions to really avoid any problems in the future and make sure that the players are tested before they're allowed to get back out onto the court.
And Garnett with the basket on the assist by Terry. 10 points for Garnett.
Boy, what a great job of getting into the teeth of the defense and scoring in the paint.
And that's been their main point of attack. I mean, get the ball deep and try to score from in tight rather than rely on their outside shooting. I mean, that's a more consistent way to score. Take it inside.
Here's Gooden. That falls. Great assist by Brandon Jennings. Jennings has got 5 assists in the game. Rondo dishes to Pierce. He's guarded by Nba2K13. Nba2K13 against Pierce. Goes right up. Gets it to go.
That's 4 straight field goals coming inside the paint.
Boy, they're taking it right to him, Steve, and the defense has really been way too passive for my liking.
Bucks leading by 22. Outside Jennings. Here's Ellis. There's the bucket. Good. Ellis has got 27.
Yeah, points in the paint have been a huge factor here for them.
Steve looking to take it inside and go up strong. That's a remedy for success.
Pierce. Again, Pierce missing.
And they have a huge advantage on the boards.
Well, it's been one-sided so far, both on the rebounding side and the scoreboard.
It's stolen by Bass. Fourth quarter of play, and we're about 2.5 minutes through it right now. Jennings with the steal. And up the court come the Bucks on the break. Jennings leading the charge. A shot by D'Alembert, no good. The Celtics have gone 2 of 3 from the field to get the fourth quarter started. And boy, that looked like goaltending. Yes, it is, and so they will award the basket there.
And Kyrie Irving, guys, in Cleveland is kind of the latest in a long line of great point guards who have come into the league over the last maybe half dozen years or so. It really does feel like the NBA is kind of in a golden age of point guards.
Avery Bradley, he's checked in for Jason Terry. Ilyasova, he's checked in for Milwaukee. Jennings, he's covered by Rondo. Nba2K13 against Pierce. Shot's good from Nba2K13. And all these great point guards, Steve, have you ever seen this talented group in your time following the game? I
don't think so, Kevin. The athleticism that these guys have, the incredible creativity and the open floor. I think the game is suited to them these days. It's more wide open. There's more shooting than ever before. So there's more space for them to work with, and it's awfully fun to watch.
Jennings drives in. Great D that time from Rondo.
Terrific job that time defending at the rim. I mean, it's not an easy task stopping that fella when he's headed to the bucket like that. Good job.
Pierce, good.
And defensively, you want to keep the ball as far away from the hoop as possible.
Yeah, because he's too good inside, Steve. I mean, he'll make you pay every time in there.
Ellis goes in, shoots over Bradley. Ellis can't get it to go.
Good, tough defense there. Getting a hand up, forcing that miss.
Well, he's got the reputation of being a tough defender, and there was an example right there for you.
Now here's Bass. He's guarded by Nba2K13. 6 to shoot. The Celtics working the ball around now. Unloads. Milwaukee with the rebound. Gooden's got rebound number 13 with that last one.
Well, I tell you what, guys, his struggles from the field have definitely taken their toll on the team today.
Pulls up on the elbow. Ellis can't get it to go.
It's been a struggle. It's not happening right now. He needs to settle down a bit and let the offense come to him a little more. He's forcing things right now.
Rondo gets the bucket. And here is Ellis.
Well, you know, you look at the success of teams like Oklahoma City who built through the draft. I mean, teams starting to emulate that method for building up talent, but it takes patience. I think some are starting to question the incentives when teams are, in a sense, getting bad to get good. I think it's worth examining if that's the best model for the league to incentivize.
Jennings against Rondo. He kicks it to Gooden. Over Garnett. And that one's good by Gooden. Gooden's got 6 here in this quarter.
Smart move with that mismatch he's got.
You know what? That extra advantage sure pays off on the mid-range jumper.
Rondo kicks to Garnett. Back to Rondo. Jennings with the steal. It's off his leg. And it's being called a kickball. Samuel Dallenberg, who's checked in for the Bucks. Here's Ellis. Over Bradley. Ellis can't get it to go. Going back to what Clark just talked about, Steve, some call it tanking for draft picks. I don't like that word, but some people will use it. Teams like, say, Houston, that are trying to go from solid to great, it's not easy without the superstars that top draft picks can provide.
And the irony, of course, is that even if you have the best chance of winning the lottery, it's still only a 25% chance. So tanking isn't always going to pay off. The lottery often just comes down to a random drop of the ping pong ball, and all of a sudden some team that's had a decent season is getting the #1 pick. But it's a difficult issue to tackle for sure.
The Celtics have gotten into a pretty good groove, going 6 of 10 here in the final quarter. Rondo passes to Pierce over Ilyasova. Here's Bass, takes it up with both hands and rips it down.
No time wasted getting back off the ground when he got his hands on the ball. I like that quickness of jump.
And that's the idea, right? Take it back up strong.
Yeah, of course. I mean, no reason to hold on to it any longer than you have to.
Bradley against Ellis. Now the dish to Nba2K13. Good, and the assist goes to Ellis. Nba2K13's got 4 points this quarter.
He's really ramping it up now.
Rondo kicks to Garnett. Pass to Pierce. The baseline J. The rebound by Brandon Jennings.
Looked like he rushed that one, guys. The defense was out of position. He was wide open, just couldn't take advantage.
A step-back shot here. It's rebounded by Bass. Bass has got 6 rebounds now in the game. They set the pick. Bradley dishes to Rondo.
Well, guys, you see all these great fans, and it reminds you that what sports are really all about is kind of watching the pros or college ball or high school, or just standing around the water cooler. I mean, sports and talking about sports can provide that common bond and a way to make friendships and overcome social barriers.
They get it back. Leaps for it. And out of bounds as the Celtics gain possession. And this is what the schedule looks like for the Boston Celtics. They've got the Wizards ahead of them for the next game. It's in Washington. That will be a getaway game for them, a 1-game road trip.
Yeah, I'll be looking forward to seeing how that Philadelphia game turns out, guys.
He dishes it to Bass. Back to Rondo. Garnett left side. Over D'Alembert. And Garnett misses. Well, Steve, you make a great point about the universality of sports. Passionate sports fans from the humblest of settings. Right, Clark, you know this, to the White House. You had a chance to interview President Barack Obama during the NCAA tournament.
You know, it was actually my second time to be in the company of the president on the White House basketball court. And what a treat and pleasure that was to spend time with our president talking about a shared passion and bond with the game of basketball. I'm a blessed man to have been able to experience that not just once, but twice.
The drive by Ellis. Shoots over Bradley. And the Bucks miss again. Celtics trail by 20. Rondo with it. Picked up by Ellis. And it's good.
They continue to barrel their way inside. And when's the defense going to adjust?
Well, I'm asking the same question myself, partner. I mean, that's 8 points out of their last 10 coming inside.
Kicks it to Ilyasova. Back to Ellis. That's good. Ellis has got 16 points here in the second half.
And you got to love what he's been able to do with the ball in his hands in this game.
Time called here. The Celtics decide to talk it over.
Seems like more and more the last few years we've seen star players demanding trades. And I don't want to sound like the old guy, but when I played, that wasn't something you did. And if you were going to do it, you did it privately, behind the scenes. Nowadays, it seems like it's on the front page every day.
Here's Rondo. Back to Pierce. Right side Pierce. He passes to Rondo, expanding his range. Bradley passes to Pierce over Nba2K13. Milwaukee with the rebound. D'Alembert's got rebound number 12 here already in the game. Offensive rebound. Ilyasova. It's stolen by Bradley. And it's Rondo penetrating. Dishes it to Bradley. Over Jennings. Bradley can't get it to go. And Steve, that might be the big thing you talked about. When it happens, a trade request, it is done through the media more now than it's done, privately through the avenues of team to team.
But Kevin, we can't really just blame the players for that. It's also the modern time of social media. It's so difficult to conceal any type of information these days. It seems like everybody has a voice, and everyone's business is on the internet and on a blog every single day, on social media. It's really difficult to handle as a general manager or as a player.
Jennings kicks to Ellis. Shoots over Bradley. And again, the Bucks miss. Celtics trail by 18. And it's good, coming on the assist by Rajon Rondo. The Bucks shooting 51% from the field. They'll take that. Ellis kicks to Ilyasova. To the inside. Here is Nba2K13. Excellent D there from Pierce. And out of bounds as the Bucks gain possession.
That's a poor possession. You just give away the ball with a sloppy pass.
Cool hands checked in for Brandon Jennings. D'Alembert with a screen on Pierce. Ellis loses the defender with the screen and drills the jumper. Ellis has got 8 points here in this quarter. And the Celtics shooting 55% in the fourth. They are executing late. Puts it up from 12. The shot by Rondo is no good.
That was not pretty there. You got to make that one, but maybe that's not his range.
He feeds it to D'Alembert. It's Ellis on the wing. Ellis right side over Rondo. Ellis, that's good. Ellis has got 35 in the game.
And that should definitely do it. Now it's starting to get out of hand.
Yeah, they're not just running to the finish line. They're running through the finish line right here. They're piling it on a bit.
And Bass kicks to Pierce. Again, the miss by the Celtics.
There's no getting around the simple fact that that's a shot he has to knock down.
Here's Ellis. Nice second effort. Good job staying with it.
Well, the outcome is not in question now. They've got it all wrapped up.
Agreed. I mean, they're just looking to simply run the clock out now.
Well, not much they can do at this point.
Nope, playing for pride, trying to finish strong for pride's sake.
Bass's shot, good. "20 seconds left in the fourth. The Bucks shooting here in the fourth quarter around 41%. Well, this one is winding down now. Milwaukee can watch the clock run out. Ellis outside. The feed to Dallenberg. Poked loose. Kevin Garnett with the steal. It's off. And so it's the Bucks taking care of business in this one. And this one was such a lopsided victory.
They never let up. They were full throttle from the start.
That'll do it for now. For Doris Burke, Steve Kerr, and Clark Kellogg, and the rest of the 2K Sports crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for joining us.
Played your first official NBA game. Did things go as you expected?
Yeah, I think it went okay. I wasn't out there a whole lot, but I tried to make some things happen when I was given the chance. It feels good to be a part of this team, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity to, continue to prove myself. I know I can be an asset here, so I got to make sure I take advantage of every chance I get.